Hey everybody, welcome back to Dad Does Videos. Today we are replacing those old money-sucking, crusty-looking indoor floodlights that are recessed into your ceiling. I picked up from Lowe's the Utilitech Retrofit recessed LEDs. And what's really cool about these, outside of the fact that you never have to replace a light bulb again unless you use this for 35,000 hours, which is how long they're supposed to last, but they're dimmable. You can put them in damp locations. It doesn't matter. They only use 10.5 watts. What's really cool about these is you could change the color on them. And I don't mean, you can change them to red or blue or green. You can adjust how ambery your light is or how cool it is. So you can see up here, we've got the scale 2700 is on the ambery, kind of your traditional yellowy look. And then the further you go up this way, it's the more white they get. The cooler is the term that people use that they get. And I'll show you how to adjust those too and what they look like. So come along with me. I'll show you how to do this. This is not a hard job. Just remember, when you're working with electricity, it's always a good idea to turn your electricity off to the lights that you're working with. Okay, so first things first, no surprise here. You're gonna wanna take down the floodlight that's in the place that you want to replace with our new recessed light. Most people are familiar with how to remove a light bulb, but I will let you watch me just in case. All you have to do is twist counterclockwise, and this will come right out. Simple enough, right? Okay, so this is what the recessed housing looks like after you take your light bulb off. Most people's are going to look something like this. It might not look exactly the same, but it's going to be similar. You're going to have your trim that goes, that goes around the can, which is what this ridge thing in, and that's where the light bulb has come out of. And you're going to see these little coils. There should be two of them, one right here and one on the opposite side. Now what you have to do is simply remove, you can see the bottom right where that little hole is, that coil, there's a little piece of the coil that just is simply stuck in there, and it should be because it's holding up the housing or the can. So what you need to do is simply remove the coil from the little hole on the bottom. I like to just grab the bottom of the coil, like, it's hard to see, but right at the bottom before it goes in there, and just kind of pull up, and it loosens the little coil, the strap on the bottom, so it's easier for you to pull out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and we'll show you what it looks like after that. Okay, so here's a look at the light after I remove the bottom of the coils from those little holes. Basically, the trim just comes out, the can, so to speak, just comes out, and you're left with this. The next step is just to remove those coils that are still hanging in there, and you simply kind of push up and remove them from the slots that they're in. Okay, so here's what's inside the box. You've got your light right here, not surprisingly, and this is what screws into the place where your light bulb used to, and if you look at it, it looks just like the end of a typical light bulb. On the back is where we can adjust the color of the light. So as you can see, there's a switch right here, and you can move it up and down. Let me see if I can get this closer. There you go. And at the top, you can see it says soft white. It's kind of not the best of focus, but it says soft white, warm white, cool white, if you're following me right here. And then daylight, and then cool daylight. So you can move this adjuster up and down and pick which kind of light that you would like. And I'm going to show you how to do that before you lock this thing in place so you can see what it looks like before you decide to, put it in your ceiling and go with it. So these work for 5 or 6 inch recessed lights, and we get the 5 or 6 inch if you measure across the hole. Mine are 6 inches. What you can do with these are set up, these are These are just some tension brackets basically. So these are set up right now to go in a 5-inch hole. You can move these if you have a 6-inch hole. You unscrew the screws on each side, pull this slightly out a little bit, and then put the screw in here. So let me give you a view of what that looks like. Okay, as you can see here, I move these out slightly. And as you could imagine, by moving them out a little bit, they fit a wider space, in this case, 6 inches, if that's what the hole is in your ceiling to allow for the recessed lighting to fit in. Let me show you how that looks when you put it in. Okay, so here I am back at my housing, and as you can see, I have the light ready to go with the clips on the outside. And I'm not going to install this way. I'm going to use a different method. But if you were to do this, you would simply screw in the light bulb, so to speak, right here, right up into where you removed your actual real traditional light bulb. And then you would squeeze this in, and it goes right inside the housing. You probably can't see it greatly, but there's some pressure where the clips are around here, and you just push it right up. I'm going to show you a different method just because I like it. Okay, so we're back over at our staging station, so to speak, and what we're going to do, we're going to actually remove these clips completely on both sides, and we're going to use these torsion springs instead. And the way that you install these is you just take out the screw right here and you use it to put this in its place. And it's important to note when you're using this part goes down. You don't want it flipped over like this. When you put the screw in, this goes down like that. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and I'm gonna show you how to install this in my light using these clips. Okay, as you can see here, I've got the clips on, and as you can see, and I did the same thing on the other side, it's a little harder to see, but I could probably just go like this, right? What I did, they give you some kind of wiggle room, so you can screw these on the furthest out they can go like I did and put the screw right in there, or you can push this in a little bit and put the screw wherever you want, depending upon how you want to actually put these in. Since I have those 6-inch, I have the 6-inch wide housing, what I did is just made them as wide as I can just because I wanted to have that greater flexibility. So let me show you how to actually put these in your housing. Okay, so we are back at the housing, and what you need to do, and this would only work, I should say, if you have the holders or the torsion clips in here, and one of them is right here. So that's what those look like. And basically what you need to do is kind of slide, and I'm going to show you how to do this. You have to slide the long metal pieces of the torsion springs, like I was showing you before, kind of in between these little hooks that are on the edge of this clip. And what I like to do is kind of, when I'm trying to give you a shot of this, is kind of bend these clips down a little bit. So it's a little bit easier to get these in. I know some people like to do it the other way, but I like to put, when we put the springs in, what I like to do is put them in front. What I like to do is put them in front. Some people like to do it in back, and I'll show you what I mean once I get this. But those long spokes of the springs are going to slide right in where these hooks are. Okay, so I thought I'd give you kind of before I actually install these, kind of a close-up view of what how you kind of put these springs together. So as you can see here, this is what we did, right? We installed right on the edge, and these clips are like this, and they are, you have to push on them pretty hard, and that's the point of them, right? They have to be full of tension to hold the light up and in place into your ceiling. So eventually what we're gonna do, and you see me struggling with it a little bit, you have to put these in up into the ceiling like this. And the tops of these are the pieces of this that are initially gonna go in those hooks that I showed you that are on the actual clips in the housings. Okay, before we got to that part, I went on and turned on the electricity and wanted to show you what the light colors, so to speak, look like when you change them with that little shifter on the back that I showed you earlier. So this is at its lowest setting. This is at 2700K, and I'm just gonna keep going up with each shift. So this way you can see what these different colors, again, so to speak, look like. So bear with me here. Okay, that was the next one up. That's 3000. You probably noticed a little bit of change. There's another change. There's another one. There's another one. And we're going higher and higher. And hopefully you can tell the light is getting whiter and whiter. And that's the last one. So I'm going to, and it's pretty white, right? I'm going to go all the way back to 2700 so you can see the difference right away. Right, here we go. See how that changed? So it's really neat that this light can do that. And I wanted to show you this before I got it into the ceiling. Okay, and as you can see right above the top of the light here, you can see the springs going into these hooks on the clip. And I haven't done it on the other side because I wanted you to get a good view of this. So I just put them in there slightly. You can see the top of the clip right here, or the top of the spring right here. And it's the same thing on the other side. I put them slightly inside those C hooks, so to speak, right? So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, and then we'll gently push it up, and you can see me do that. Okay, and I thought I'd give you a better shot maybe from the floor so you can see me just push this in, because I want you to realize how easy it is, and I want to use two hands. So all you have to do at this point, we've got our springs inside the clips, right? Like I showed you on the last part of this video. All we have to do is just push up, and that's it. And if you have those inside, those C hooks, so to speak, it should just go smoothly right up. So watch this, both sides and right up. That's all there is to it. Okay, so I thought I'd give you a look at what all four of these on, and that's what I did today. I put four of these replacement recessed LED lights in my basement. This is what they look like, and let me show you how well they dim. Look at that. Basically down to nothing. And that's a big deal because you can find a lot of places that have these LED retrofit recessed lights, but you'll read a lot about how they don't dim all the way down, or they dim like half as much. But guess what? These work perfectly fine. They go up and down without a problem. So I'm really happy with these.